Now, I would like to address the concerns of infrasound. I've been hit a couple of times by infrasound when I was in Washington. I have partial, hearing loss, so thankfully that saved me from, the effects the first time. The second time I wasn't so lucky because I got stupid. I got one of those, little hearing devices, so you can hear things extra, kind of like a hearing aid, but not. And when I wore that, I got hit again by infrasound by an individual, a Gwantch, a man that I had insulted because he was old and stinky, and I told him that he needed a bath. So he got even with me. Anyway, the second time he hit me, I had the little hearing device in, and man, it really hit me hard. My dog actually had to, Caesar, he had to lead me out of the area because he hadn't been hit, thankfully. I was so disoriented, though, I couldn't figure out where the heck I was. It was the weirdest thing. It's like the infrasound blanked my memory of the location. So for, I'd say, probably a good 2 minutes, I literally couldn't recognize the woods that I was in, and I'd been on that particular trail dozens of times at that point. I wonder if individuals who get lost in the woods might be experiencing something like infrasound. And on another note, one of the other things I've noticed about 411 cases is that some of the more unusual ones talk about people removing their clothing and leaving them behind. That's actually not unusual with people who suffer from hypothermia, because one of the last symptoms of hypothermia is the sensation of warmth, and you will feel like you're overheating and you need to remove your clothing. I've been there once in my life. Thank God somebody pulled me into a place and warmed me up. Otherwise, it probably would have been dumb and, ended up really harming myself by accident because I was just, hypothermic and didn't realize it. So those are things to consider. That and anytime you're in a area where there are cliffs, how many goats do you have? How many mountain goats do you have? And other such animals, because mountain goats, on my turnout, I learned this the hard way. Mountain goats will, butt you off a cliff. I thankfully never had that happen to me, but I had 2 incidences while I was up on a ridgeline or on a cliffside or up on a parapet of some kind where a mountain goat had been behind me and, trying to do the whole territorial thing. Thank God both times I got out of the way before it became a problem. But that's another thing to consider, what kind of wildlife is going to force you off an edge, voluntarily or otherwise. Involuntarily, you might get bunted off by something. Just things to consider.